When the game gets rough and this life just seems so tough, Mek Wi Talk, my people, Mek Wi Talk. When this town becomes an ugly place, don't let it erase the smile from your face. Mek Wi Talk, people, Mek Wi Talk. Conversation is the key, a guiding light for you and me. Spark a talk and you will see. Conflict solver A to Z. World leaders master the art of self-defense just by talk. So people, Mek Wi Talk. Hey, we're living in a world. When the game gets rough and this life just seems so tough, Mek Wi Talk, my people, Mek Wi Talk. When this town becomes an ugly place, don't let it erase the smile from your face. Mek Wi Talk, people, Mek Wi Talk. Conversation is the key, a guiding light for you and me. Spark a talk and you will see. Conflict solver A to Z. World leaders master the art of self-defense just by talk. So people, Mek Wi Talk. Hey, we're living in a world that on ourselves we must depend. Mek Wi Talk, people.
Good afternoon. It is 11:24 in the land of wood and water. As a lot of people not going to like the program I'm going to have today, but the people without their history, they do not know where they're going. And this morning, it took me a long time from yesterday to today to think seriously about today's topic. To think seriously about today's topic. In the 1990s, you all can go and do your research. In the 1990s, this country, Jamaica, went through a financial meltdown, where a lot of Jamaicans lost their money, including family members of mine and dear friends of mine. And some of us who was going to school or colleges with our little savings in the financial institutions in our country, like Central Bank. A lot of members of the People's National Party not going to like what Jeffrey is going to say today. And supporters of the People's National Party going to say, I'm a Labour right now. Well, I don't care one flying kahuna who want to dub me as any member of any political party. I am a Jamaican and Jamaica come first for me. If the Jamaican people should do their history of Cash Plus and Finsac compared to now where you have SSL, you would realize that this country of ours has been going through a financial meltdown, some Ponzi schemes in this country by well-known people of the vum vavant and the vum vaveen. And for those who want to dub me as a member of any political party, go ahead, I don't really care. We must do our history in this country. And we must do research on what is going on in this country. The People's National Party is not good at two shoes either. And so is the Jamaica Labour Party. And one of the reasons why the Finsac report cannot be made public of the meltdown of the 1990s under PJ Patterson and Omar Davies is because members of the Jamaica Labour Party is a part of the Finsac shebangarang that went on in this country. I know people who committed suicide because they lost their business and they lost their money in Finsac. I remember where Century Bank was on the Negril Beach Road. I remember where Century Bank was on the 7 Mile Beach on the Norman Manley Boulevard in Negril. And many poor people in this country lost their earnings in Finsac. Finsac was established under PJ Patterson and Omar Davies, Jamaica's financial sector adjustment company, loan recovery and assets designated unit, whatever that may be. That is what they had Finsac there for. And if we all sit here and believe that SSL was just no other political parties in Jamaica never presided over the collapse of a financial institution, we'll be lying. We will be lying. A lot of Jamaicans from both sides of the oil, or whatever you want to call it, has lost their money in Finsac, in Cash Plus, in SSL, Eagle Merchant Bank, and you can name, and you can go on and on and on. So when you think that is only SSL financial sector brought down in this country, and we're going to make a sad mistake. We, the Jamaican people, has gone through terrible times in this country under the both political parties in this country. And none of us, only the people of the Vumvavan, the Vumvavi, get back anything. But the poor people who live below a crossroad don't get back a dime. And you're not going to like how I'm going to talk today. Because I'm not talk about in a party. When I was putting, my family members were putting money in all the financial institutions in this country. Because they come up with this thing they call Finsac. I didn't see any party. I never go to any party to lodge my money. Or to lodge any member of my family. Or any friends of mine money. I never see any member of any political party. So when I say the two of them is the same damn thing, I make no apology. They profess to love the poor people of this country. Finsac was a disaster in this country. You know the amount of Jamaicans want to share up the live. Good morning to you all. I come on this morning. Sorry about it. Good morning to you all. Thanks for coming on. Share this live feed. You know the amount of Jamaicans who have committed suicide. A man borrow money for his construction company. And because of Jamaica's world-class Minister of Finance at the time, Dr. Omar Davies, financial policies, interest rate got through the roof. And some people couldn't pay back their loans. They come for their house and they take their properties. So if you don't believe, if you all believe that there's only one party wreck this country to make a sad mistake, go and do the research on the history of the financial sectors in this country. As I said before, when friends of mine and members of my family and other people's family in this country was lodging their money in Eagle Merchant Bank, in Central Bank, and other banks in this country, and when they collapse, when we're putting money in the banks, we never see no JLP and no PNP. We never go up Belmont Road, nor Hope Road. We say we're going to lodge the money in the bank. When the Jamaican people are putting money into Cash Plus, they never see no JLP nor no PNP. One man gone with how much billions of dollars for the people of this country. Not one red cent they get. I don't give a damn this morning who want to come on and talk when we want to talk, you know. Because somehow, because on the part you can't talk. On the die-hearted this, on the die-hearted that, you can't talk. You all cannot talk about Jamaica. It's about your party. It doesn't matter what your party does. It's your party. It doesn't matter what happened in the country under your party. You stand and you defend your party. Finsac happened in the 1990s. I'm going to play some video phone, you know. But believe you me, you not go like one no hear. I want to know see. But the one thing I can tell you now, you know, if we don't wake up in this country, then I do not know where this country gonna go. I want to play something here for you. I can find the video here. Because when you look on this thing here, your heart grieves. One moment for me, please. No, I don't want that video here. Hold on for me. Amount of people that lost under the Finsac regime of the 1990s. I want you to listen to this here. Hold on for me. I'm not making you listen to this. One moment, please. Here we go.
Little nurse and little teacher. It was about saving some of the big friends of the very Omar Davies and his people. That is what Finsac was about in large part. And why is it that he got so agitated and jumping up and down in the seat in Parliament when Mr. Shaw said, produce the report? And he's saying, what are you hiding? What is he hiding? Why don't he do something about the report? Since they're not in government, get the report done now. Right? Because these are the kind of lies that we're being told, and we want to get the report so that we can get people's properties back. If that is the case, and if there are people who committed fraud, then let them go to jail. But we cannot just be in a state of nowhere. We don't know when the report is coming out, and that is I believe that one of the things that have been kept from the Jamaican people, one of the most wickedest things, which there were several, inclusive of the destruction of so many business people like Mr. Levy here, Mr. Rose, Mr. Willis, and many, many others, Mr. Baker, those are the people here today. We have thousands of people whose lives were destroyed. And I encourage you all to go and support the Finsac Commission of Inquiry on Facebook to see the people's lives that were destroyed. But we have an agreement for sale and purchase of assets entered into by the Jamaican government of Omar Davies and Mr. Patterson at the time. 30th of January 2002, a secret document which I mentioned earlier, but I want to just give you snippets of it before we leave. I won't be long, because I know we have been here for a pretty long time, and we want to get back to our various homes. But in this sale, this secret agreement, just like the Miran contract, by the way, which brought JPS here, secret deal. The purchase price of the 23 banks of Finsac were $23 million US, right? We can start with Corporate Merchant Bank, Crown Eagle Bank, Island Victoria Bank, National Commercial Bank, etc. 23 banks here. And this was sold for 23, inclusive of a building located at lots 1, 2, 3, etc. Quite a lot of property actually in one building. Which was also sold along with all of those assets from those Finsac banks. GCT was waived on the agreement for $23 million. Why that is so? The GCT Act, the section of the GCT Act which speaks to waivers, section 47 said that the minister considered it fair, just and equitable to do so. Why on earth would he in his wisdom want to waive GCT on a deal with an American company, a company that is into loan servicing is beyond me. I can't say anything just and extra about it. Worse, he never offered it to the Jamaican people. That is the worst part. But then he went on to agree with these people and make no mistake, Finsac was the Minister of Finance. Let us go on to speak to the deal that went into Finsac will indemnify Jamaica Redevelopment from any claims or demands. So not only they sell all of those assets for that bargain basement price, but they now guarantee that they will indemnify them if there's any lawsuits. Not that we would have found out about it, because if you will see from section 4.2 of the Act, no public announcements. This clause shall survive the closing date. So there was no way anybody would have known of this agreement. I just happen to have got it through a good soul. So this...
When you hear though, it is not no cover-up has been going on in this country. It's not now. I asked the IMF for what? IMF wasn't involved in Finsac. IMF was never involved in Finsac. So now come over here and tell me what to ask IMF. Go and do the research. They sold 23 banks at that time for $23 million US. While other Jamaicans suffer, who have their business, the business went under. who have money in all these banks. It go belly up. Nobody get back no money. That's something that I know about. Nobody not tell me about it. Go and read the 1990s meltdown in this country. But Shona say the two. Hey, I tell you something. You see, when I wake up in this country and start this damn PNP and JLP shit in this country. $23 million. They sold 23 banks for in the 1990s under Omar Davies, Jamaica's world-class Minister of Finance at the time. That's how they dubbed him. And the person who gave him that name was Wilmot Mutty Perkins. Dubbed him as Jamaica's world-class Minister of Finance. Wrecked the economy of this country. Listen to some more of this. You don't want to talk to me after this tough luck. I don't know. I'm begging you nothing.
It's another act, another stab in the back of the Jamaican people, whereby the Jamaican people who suffered and sacrificed for their businesses were not given the opportunity to buy back the banks and their properties, as Mr. Dad testified earlier, and Mr. Levy here spoke about his particular case. The government should, and if they are our servants, they are supposed to give us the opportunity to earn and make a living in our country. They should have given back the Jamaican people at the 5.8 cents that they sold to Dennis Jocelyn and that company, Jamaica Redevelopment Foundation, Inc. Right here, the secret deal. But what I want to say further is, in my part ending here today, we have filed a lawsuit and it is seeking judicial review because it seems like no matter what we do, the leader of the opposition has requested of the Governor General to ensure that the report is finished. The former Minister of Finance, Shaw, has been very, very strong and passionate about Finsac Report being completed. And we have the report from the Minister of Finance now saying that there is nothing to stop the report from being completed. So why, for the life of me, the commissioners don't finish this report is beyond me. I've offered my services free to finish the report. We have filed a fixed date claim form seeking an order from mandamus, because we believe that this is the only way we can now proceed, where we have the matter before the courts. We haven't got the date as yet, but we have asked that the report be completed, whether it's an interim report. We are prepared to accept that. So what I will do is a report filed on the 28th of March. We will have a date, I think, within 3 months. And the claim is brought by Hylton Baker, who gave testimony, as many people did, and has a legitimate expectation to receive in the report. And the commissioners are the defendants. And I'm saying that this is another option that we're taking apart from our public forums to move the necessary authorities, the powers that be, the commissioners, to produce the report, which we think is critical to setting the record straight and redeeming so much injustice meted out to so many people. Before
see there you have it.
餐车经过，小心脚下，心脚下。
Hold on.
餐车经过，小心脚下。
One moment for me, please.
对不起啊，哎，正好帮我来杯咖啡。
哦，好嘞。
谢谢啊。
today, really.
Yes. Comment. Okay. Now you see that there's a video, even Paul Chen Young company went under with how much money for people. So, you know, people must go and do their research, man. Yes, I realized I was watching a movie, Garfield. You see? People must go and do their research. When you see what happened to Jamaicans in the 1990s, where the amount of Jamaicans committed suicide. Committed suicide. Because of what? The meltdown of the 1990s. And people are just talking about one area. It's not now this has been going on in this country. Not now. Been going on in Jamaica for many years. And we do nothing about it. What we do is sit down and accept because what is our party in power? And all we talk about is our party. We don't talk about the fundamental issues that face this country. I want you all to listen to something else here. Me know what it's like. I've seen family members and friends of mine cry. I've seen where people in their house, they don't hope for their house, but they do. They went and borrow money to do their business. And the two political parties, the two of them, members of the two political parties, when Finsac took the people in the house, they have lists of which house they want. Go and do the history. Go to Google and do the history in this country. Don't come over here and talk about your PNP and your JLP. Go and do the damn history in this country. You don't know what it's like to see the family members or friends of you. Friends have nowhere to live because they got kicked out of the house under Omar Davies. And Finsac. Some of them don't have nowhere to live. Some of them committed suicide. Go and do the research, man. It's not about any PNP and the JLP. It's about Jamaica. It's about Jamaica and the way how they led this country. So I don't think that SSL is just no. Go on down the history of the 1990s and beyond. Of what happened in this country. Under the both political parties in this country who claim to love poor people in this country. Watch this video here, please.
Our Finsac was created by the People's National Party, and its intervention was supposed to save Jamaica from economic disaster. But instead, it left us with long-term wounds.
Even my children, them sometimes them confused because they've never used to this kind of life.
After working hard for several years to build his dream house, he was thrown out in an instant. The Finsac entrepreneur claims his house, which was valued at between $9 and $11 million, was offloaded by Finsac for just $3.5 million.
By shutting down numerous banks, consolidating them into a single entity.
Okay. Central Bank, Island Victoria Bank, Eagle Commercial Bank, Citizen Merchant Bank, Workers Savings and Loan Bank, Capital Market Bank, Capital Merchant Bank, Island Life Merchant Bank, shut down and was sold for $23 million to some Americans. That's what they did to us, and they claim they love poor people in this country. And when I talk on this platform, people vex with me because when I talk about their party. To hell with party. To hell with party. Nobody knows. Do no research. The amount of Jamaicans that committed suicide in this country of the 1990s meltdown of the financial sector under Jamaica's world-class Minister of Finance, Omar Davies. I talk out there and say it again now. I say someone who don't name no shit before no dead. I say it and I apologize to nobody. Some of these people who make people in this country suffer under their policies. They're gonna name their shit before they're dead. Who don't want to watch about this program, I don't care. But the truth must come out. Go and do your research. Don't listen to me. And that is why the Finsac Report do not want. They don't want to release the Finsac Report. They don't want to release the Finsac Report. You know why? You know why? Because both of them involved in it. Both of them benefited from Finsac. Both of them benefited from Finsac. And that is why they don't want to release the report. Same way they don't want to release the sex register. Because some names that is on the sexual register list. It bring disaster in this country. And one of the reasons why they don't want to release the Finsac report for the Jamaican people to see, because some of them buy Finsac house, some of them buy Finsac businesses. And they must know the truth. Go and do the research. Don't listen to me. The two of them is involved in it. No better barrel, no better herring, and who want Bex, Plex, who want please, please. The truth is the truth. You know so much mark that lockdown? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Also, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 banks. And the 7 banks that shut them down. They didn't charge no GCT and when they're selling the banks to these American companies. No GCT was charged. $23 million. They sold 7 banks for in this country. And people money go down the drain like nothing. The amount of Jamaicans that suffered in this country. The amount of Jamaicans that suffered in this country. Have nowhere to live. After them build them buy the house. And because they want a business, they start a business by getting some loans from their houses and so forth. And they're paying their loans properly. There you go, Mrs. Williams. Trickle down to SSL now. You must do the history, man, before they come and talk nonsense. When you look on what happened in the 1990s and now to SSL, good God Almighty, you talk on the love poor people in this country. Huh? Go and do the research. I don't give a damn who wants to know Omar Davies do it. He's the Minister of Finance and him do it. You have people. Huh? You have people. So don't come and talk about no, them better. None of them no better barrel, no better herring. And that is why NCB Bank was sold to that so-called person there, who the prime minister couldn't got one bank account there without any money in the bank. Them all cohesion. When they sit down there, they lick champagne glass together and call private yacht. Me now with the suffer. You know the amount of people in this country who went and put money in all of these banks. And for some unknown reason, they come with a different policy. Those companies that is having hard time reaching certain things, they're going to turn them around, man. They sell them off. Listen to this. I want you to listen to something here. Continue listening to this here. The amount of banks that are sold off in this country. Continue listening to this.
And selling that entity to foreign interests, Finsac reshaped the Jamaican economy, often to the detriment of local stakeholders. So in this video,
you hear? To the detriment of local stakeholders. You know who the local people is? At that time, you have poor, rich, poor, middle class, and rich. Now you only have poor and rich. Back in those days, you have middle class and rich. There's no middle class in Jamaica. The people of our country suffered under Finsac.
We'll dive into the inception of Finsac, the economic conditions leading to its creation, the banks it shut down, the scandals and lawsuits that followed, and how these actions culminated in the consolidation and eventual sale of Jamaican banks to foreign interests. Like the video and let's proceed.
Hello everybody, we are excited coming to you this afternoon from Canada, Calgary, Alberta, Canada. Hello.
Economic boom and bust. The late 1980s and early 1990s, a time when Jamaica was basking in economic glory. The economy was booming, life was good, and prosperity was the order of the day. But like all good things, it was too good to last. By the early 1990s, Jamaica was hit by high interest rates, rampant inflation, and a classic case of economic mismanagement. The Bank of Jamaica's reserves were as dry as a desert, and the once glorious banking environment.
You hear that? The Bank of Jamaica reserve in the 1990s under Finsac was dry as a chip. No reserve never in there.
Was teetering on the brink. Between 1991 and 1995, inflation averaged over 40% annually, and interest rates soared above 42%. Now, talk about a recipe for a disaster. The creation of Finsac. Now enter Finsac, or a knight in shining armor, or so we would have thought. Established in 1997 under the watchful eye of the People's National Party, or PNP, Finsac was supposed to be the hero that would save us from financial doom. Their mandate? Stabilize the financial sector that was collapsing faster than a house of cards. But instead of saving the day, Finsac's interventions left Jamaica with long-term scars that still haunt us today.
Mr. Poyser is a real estate developer who says he borrowed $9 million to help fund the housing development. But like other entrepreneurs bitten by the Finsac bug, he saw his debt ballooning out of control.
Now, let's take a look at the first wave of closure. Or a knight in shining armor, or so we would have thought. Established in 1997 under the watchful eye of the People's National Party, or PNP, Finsac was supposed to be the hero that would save us from financial doom. Their mandate? Stabilize the financial sector that was collapsing faster than a house of cards. But instead of saving the day, Finsac's interventions left Jamaica with long-term scars that still haunt us today.
Mr. Poyser is a real estate developer who says he borrowed $9 million to help fund the housing development. But like other entrepreneurs bitten by the Finsac bug, he saw his debt ballooning out of control.
Now, let's take a look at the first wave of closures. One of the first victims of Finsac's rescue mission was Century National Bank, led by Don Crawford. Century was accused of mismanagement, and politically motivated actions led to the bank's assets being frozen and taken over. Century National Bank's closure was just the beginning of Finsac's takeover spree.
Yes, I've indicated, well, firstly, Finsac is indeed the big black bear that we had never seen before. They're like the great white shark, and it's hungry. And they have overlooked all aspects of principle, decency, honesty, transparency, integrity, and they have maintained a very vicious profile from the very beginning. What they did to Century in itself, without prejudice to the other victims, is a colossal disaster. We are undoubtedly the biggest victims.
Finsac did not stop there. Their list of casualties grew to include Eagle Commercial Bank, Workers Savings and Loan Bank, Citizens Bank, Island Victoria Bank, Citizens Merchant Bank, Corporate Merchant Bank, and Island Life Merchant Bank. These banks, already on life support due to severe liquidity problems and deposit runs, were put out of their misery by Finsac's intervention. But who needs stability when you really have chaos? No. Here are some of the businesses and individuals affected by Finsac. The ripple effects of Finsac's actions extended far beyond the banks themselves. Countless businesses and individuals found themselves caught in the crossfire of the financial sector's collapse. The businesses: Eagle Financial Network. This conglomerate, which included Eagle Commercial Bank and other financial services, was dismantled under Finsac's watch. The disintegration of Eagle's businesses resulted in significant job losses and a blow to investor confidence. Workers Savings and Loan Bank. Workers Savings and Loan Bank closure affected numerous small and medium enterprises that relied on its services for loans and financial support. The sudden unavailability of credit stifled business growth and expansion plans. Island Life Insurance Company. One of the largest insurers in Jamaica, Island Life's financial stability was undermined by Finsac's interventions. The company struggled to honor policies and faced a loss of trust among policyholders. Individuals affected by Finsac's action. Don Crawford. The founder of Central National Bank, Crawford, faced allegations of mismanagement and saw his life's work dismantled. He was left to battle legal accusations and attempt to clear his name amidst a storm of controversy. Carl Wright, the head of Eagle Financial Network, witnessed the disintegration of his company's financial empire. He faced not only the loss of his business, but also reputational damage and legal challenges. Also, ordinary Jamaicans were affected. The broader Jamaican public, including depositors, employees, and small business owners, suffered immensely. Many saw their savings wiped out, their jobs lost, and their businesses falter due to the financial instability caused by Finsac's actions. Lawsuits and scandals. And let's not forget the drama. Don Crawford and other bank owners weren't going down without a fight. They alleged conspiracy, unfair treatment, and politically motivated actions. Lawsuits flew left and right, painting a picture of a financial sector mired in scandal and mismanagement. However, we can't have a financial crisis without a little bit of courtroom drama, though. Consolidation into Union Bank. In a move that was supposed to bring stability, Finsac merged the assets of the failing banks into Union Bank of Jamaica in 2000. This Frankenstein's monster of a bank was supposed to be stronger and more resilient. But, as you guessed, it wasn't. The consolidation process was a mess, and confidence in the banking sector continued to plummet. Sale to RBTT. In 2001, the Union Bank of Jamaica was sold to the Royal Bank of Trinidad and Tobago, RBTT. Critics saw this as the ultimate betrayal, a loss of Jamaican financial sovereignty as control of our banks was handed over to foreign interests. Because nothing screams economic independence like selling your banks to another country. Impact on the economy. The aftermath of Finsac's actions was a far-reaching economic disaster. Job losses, reduced access to credit, and a massive loss of confidence in the financial system were just the tip of the iceberg. Entrepreneurs and investors watched their fortunes evaporate, and the ripple effects of these actions are still felt today. The entrepreneurial spirit of Jamaicans was crushed, and a culture of risk aversion took root among new generations of professionals. Finsac was created by the People's National Party, and its intervention was supposed to save Jamaica from economic disaster. But instead, it left us with long-term wounds. By shutting down numerous banks, consolidating them into a single entity, and then selling that entity to foreign interests, Finsac reshaped the Jamaican economy, often to the detriment of local stakeholders. I really did have to repeat that. The legacy of these actions underscores the complexities and challenges.
There you have it. I have nothing against the Jamaica Labour Party or the People's National Party. What I am saying is this. A lot of Jamaicans who claim to love poor people. Poor Jamaicans who invest their money. Some of them die like a pauper. Some of them committed suicide. Now come over here and tell me about no man talk about. What happened in this country under Jamaica's world-class Minister of Finance? I say someone before no dead, no know what before no dead, and confess one of the poor people in this country. Because you don't believe that the poor people in this country want to do things so. It lead up all of this. There is something else I want to show you. It's a video that I come across on social media. I want to listen to this. It has nothing to do with the current leader. Hold on there. I want you to tell me something here. Hold on there. I can go back to here. So I go back to this. Here, I think it's this. Yes. I want you to listen to this. I know I'm gonna come on that criticism, you know. But I really don't care. In this video, they altered the video to put in some other things in there that I really don't like how they did it. Because I was searching for the original video, I couldn't find the original video. But I wanted to listen to when the lady from IRFM, I think she used to work on IRFM. I want to listen to her when she interviewed one of the ladies who her husband and her lost everything during the 1990s. Listen to this. As I said before, this video was altered. Okay? The original video, but based on what is being said in the video by the lady from IRFM, is the fact truth. Listen to this. Some of these people who sit talking here, you know, them not fit for talking, you know, because them get Finsac house.
The high interest rate policy of Omar and the PNP has been one of the most destructive forces in the history of Jamaica's economy.
And you, who is talking here now, you, what your current leader is doing is no better from what the PNP did in the 1990s. But listen to this.
It led to the financial sector collapse, where over 40 financial institutions went. Entrepreneurs that previously had been heralded by him. Some of them are exiles abroad now. Many entrepreneurs lost their businesses. Many companies that were over 100 years old in Jamaica were destroyed and sold to foreigners. That is the legacy. And even one of his colleagues who sits in this room today described it as the greatest transfer of wealth from the poor to the rich since the abolition of slavery.
The financial shock, which...
I want you to listen to this. As I said in this part of the video here, there's some alteration in it. But listen to what she's saying and the interview she did with the lady.
Began in 1991 in Jamaica, ballooned unchecked over the next 5 years until it exploded with a catastrophic bang in 1996. The explosion left shrapnel scattered over the financial landscape, which still impacted on the economy so many years later. My sister Valerie Dixon,
So what I want to bring out this morning is that a lot of people do not understand where this thing came from. And I want to just read a little from an appendix that was written in the Observer some time ago. It says, when Omar Davies, then PNP Finance Minister in the 1990s, began the process of dismantling the Central National Bank, it was done immediately after the Don Crawford-run entity had bought a significant sum of US dollars at a few dollars more than the price that the official exchange rate indicated.
Hold on there. Many of you don't know, but in the 1990s, the amount of Jamaicans higher up, of the people of the Vumvava and the Vumvavi, have money in the back of their car buying US dollars. That's why the Bank of Jamaica didn't have any reserve in there. Because the amount of Jamaicans of the Vumvava and the Vumvavi, of over St. Andrew, buying money, US dollars in the back of their vehicles. And then the meltdown of the 1990s didn't start in the 1990s. It started way beyond before the 1990s. None of them is no better in governing this country. They're all in there for their own self, for their own self-interest. So they continue to cuss me over them. Continue to cuss the Jamaican people over these people who don't mean no good. We're 62 years old. And until now, we can't get water in our pipes. 62 years old.
The bank did nothing which other banks were not doing in a time when an inept PNP government was struggling with managing a market economy which it knew little or nothing about. What the sale of those dollars did was reveal that the very same finance ministry was covertly, that means underground, dispatching agents with huge stacks of cash in the trunks of their cars to buy US dollars at prices above the official exchange rate. The money was stolen eventually. With blood rushing to its head.
You hear that? All the money that they used to buy US on the back of their car. Somebody thief the money.
When this action was revealed, an embarrassed PNP government set about withdrawing public funds from the Central National Bank, making it publicly known. And in the process, it started or triggered a run on the bank, which was seemingly designed to end its life. That, however, is a sad history for the most progressive bank existing in Jamaica at that time.
Because although I with Golden,
Explain to us, Val, what did the government do exactly? What, because we talk about the Finsac debacle, what exactly are we talking about?
Okay. You went to your bed last night and interest rate, let's say for argument's sake, is at 30%. You wake up this morning and you see a headline in the paper, in the newspaper that says, government to increase interest rate to 64%. Please tell me which business would be able to fill that gap between paying interest rate at 30% and suddenly jump with no notice to paying interest rate at 60 and probably more. Interest, overdraft interest rate went up overnight to 120%.
And that's not a lie. That is not a lie. That's the fact truth. Go and do the research. Go and do the research on Finsac of the 1990s, the meltdown of the 1990s under the greatest finance minister Jamaica has ever seen, apart from this one now. The late Will Mutty Perkins dubbed him as Jamaica's greatest finance minister. Dog Niam was up in the 1990s. Listen to this.
And the impact of that action on businesses was what you are describing.
That is exactly what I'm describing. So how is it that these people who are running business for over all these decades suddenly overnight become bad debtors? Do you see the point I'm making there?
Yes.
Good question. How is it that Aunt Mary that run our business from 1973 to the 1990s, and all of a sudden, everybody who did the business for whatever, them business not do good? The high interest rate under this Minister of Finance caused Jamaicans, his financial policies caused the detriment of Jamaicans. Me talk already, I'm not say it again. You know. Some of them before not dead. We not confess what we do to poor people in this country. We shall never no straight.
As a matter of fact,
we were villainized.
Yes.
We were hounded down like common criminals. And we had to watch our businesses go up in smoke. While foreign investors came in, they got tax breaks, they got tax holidays, and
hold on there for me. Hello? Yes, hold on there for me. Hold on there for me, Gabi. Go ahead, Garfield. Welcome to the program. Hold on. Let me take out this picture here. Hold on. Oh, Jesus. Sorry, Garfield. Call me back. I hung up the phone on you. I'm so sorry. Listen. Okay, here he goes again. Hold on. Sorry about that. Welcome to the program. Go ahead.
Yes, I don't know if you're aware of this. These people who had used their land title and collateral titles to access loans from the banks at high interest rate, one of the biggest things that really crippled these people to their knees, bring them down, is that when they went to the bank and they get a line of credit against their title, so for example, they get a line of credit for $10 million, yes, and they have only pulled down $2 million on that line of credit, and $8 million remain. People in the banks went behind these people's backs and took loan against these people's money.
Yes.
I don't know if you're aware of that.
I am aware of it.
And that is why a lot of people could not able to make the payment, because their payment had ballooned to loans that they never take.
They never know anything about those loans.
They had no idea about it. And make it worse, when they realize that they are Finsac, and Finsac start to sell off the bad debt, a lot of these people negotiated to buy back the bad debts, and they were not able to do so because their title were no longer in the title office, and people there were doing Jimmy work on people's title. And as you rightfully say, both members of the People's National Party and the Jamaica Labour Party were the ones going around and choosing what businesses to buy and what houses they want to bid on. And these people were not entitled to get back their property if they can find back the money at the discounted price that Finsac to break it down.
And that is why, Garfield, Paul Chen Young died. Dan Crawford, I think he's somewhere in the United States same way, or he died a couple years ago.
I think he's still alive.
I think he's still alive.
What I can tell you, my wife, by the time she was a teacher at a prominent prep school in Kingston, and one of the gentlemen who was who lost his business, right? The gentleman came in the classroom, sat with his son for an hour in class, and went to his office and committed suicide.
All right. So now come on this, hold on for me, Garfield. You people who do no research, now come on this platform and tell me nonsense. My family went through it.
And I can go further.
Go ahead.
It is reported that Bruce Golding, when Bruce Golding advised one of his ministers in the latter part, who stated that he wanted to buy a particular house. And Bruce Golding advised the minister, said, Mr. Minister, don't buy it because it doesn't look good. And the minister said his mother has to live in Cherry Garden. She born in River Trenchtown all her life. And the fact of the matter, what we need is the government state today that they cannot give the report. Because some commissioner is no longer around and they are going to upload the transcript of it. And I can assure you that transcript will be highly redacted. You understand? Enough things are going to be in a black. Because at the end of the day, Peter Phillips promised that the report only need $2 million to finish. It never done. Only Shaw promised to give us the report in 2016 on the campaign trail. It never happened. And I will tell you this, on the 12th of September 2024, myself and Audley Shaw was on a flight to Jamaica. I saw him on the flight, of course, and I asked him, I said, Mr. Former Minister, why can't we get the Finsac report? And his response that he has a flight to catch. That was it.
The two of them, that is Garfield, as I said it, you know. If that report come out, the two political party is in the scandal of Finsac and the cover of Finsac.
Exactly. And that's the truth. And the truth of the matter, I do understand Finsac was then and today.
Hold on for me, Garfield. I don't give a flying shit. Beg on a partner, Kawana. If you want to unsubscribe from my channel, the truth is the truth. You're not Jamaican, and you're just out for your party. So if all I don't want to subscribe from my channel, go ahead, no problem to me. Go ahead, Garfield.
You know, I am saying is this. I mean, the both political party benefited from it bigly in a big fashion. And I can't tell you who, but what I would love to hear today of a day is the names of the people. You see, frankly speaking, you know, if people want to buy up the debts of Finsac, right? It's not a big deal. But if you know, if you are aware that you are a part of the mechanism that get given a sweetheart deal, it's an issue. If you go to the Jamaica Redevelop Foundation and you have your money and you see something that you want to buy and you can get it, fine, so be it. But if you know you are part of the mechanism that created the atrocity for your benefit, that is the problem I have.
Thank you. Same way, sir. So that just show you all that this meltdown of financial sector and them taking poor people money never start in a SSL. It started way before SSL.
Exactly, and this is the thing too. The same SSL, and we have a lady in jail right now in Tree jail, wherever she is, last I know, in Tree court. And I want to know if just one little clerk at SSL can mastermind the takedown of so much billions of dollars. That's what I want to know. And that is what people need to come clean with. The government of the day, they are full time now. Time come that we have transparency. Investigation needs to be done. The reports of these crimes need to be updated and given to the Jamaican people so the Jamaican people can be the jury and decide whether or not who they want to lead their country. Because at the end of the day, we are now living in times that if you are corrupt, you should be disbarred. If you are into hanky-panky, if you are unquestionable, the people of Jamaica should know. And it's a sad state when I see this lady alone, a clerk, and you want to tell me this is the only person that brought down SSL? Why, I don't know. And if and it may be she, Jeffrey. She may be the only one who have brought it down since she's the only one charged so far.
But Garfield, how the hell can I be running a company? I saw that's how I leave up my company to that one lady for her to bring it down like that.
That's what I'm saying. There is no rails, there's no guardrails in place. And she was able to cipher out so much money, make so much purchases. Come on, man.
Listen to me.
It's not right.
The Jamaican people, the younger Jamaican people and the older Jamaican people who are die-hearted, go and do no history. You have the meltdown of the financial sector in the 1990s. You have Finsac, you have Cash Plus. You remember Cash Plus?
I will give you a better joke about Cash Plus. If you recall when Cash Plus was going on with the guy Carlos Hill, you remember that the bank NCB, National Commercial Bank,
yes,
that barred their employees from investing in it because what the employees were doing, they were taking unsecured loans. And one of the things that destroyed the Jamaican economy is the process of there was a lot of unsecured loans that used to throw around in Jamaica.
Yes.
Jeffrey, when you are a bank manager in Jamaica, or you are in the top tier management into a bank in Central, in Otrius, Jeffrey, the strike of your pen can authorize a $5 million loan. You understand? With no collateral. Jeffrey, when I came to this country and I understand the banking system here, hold on, listen to this. A friend of mine was a bank manager, right? And I said to him, "What, my boss? We can come get a loan from the bank, you know, because that's what I thought." The man said to me, "Being a bank manager in America don't mean nothing, means squat. You're just a figurehead for make sure the teller them come to work and pass on the relevant telephone information. But when you're in Jamaica, you're a bank manager or a head teller, and I need a loan to buy a car for a $3 million or $2 million or $500,000 back in the days when the $500,000 had value. I just call my bank manager and tell her, say, listen me, I need to get this done. You understand? And the bank manager, no problem, Mr. Jones. What time you want to come for it? I just come there and sign.
Let me ask you something, Garfield.
You know?
Somebody say it's because Siaga borrow money from Central Bank and saying if you got to pay it. That's why Finsac started.
Well, that I don't know. That I don't know is because of that.
Jesus
but
Christ.
I don't really, that's just a joke. That doesn't really make any sense. Finsac, but what a lot of people must realize, Finsac is not the problem, you know. We have to clear that up, you know. Finsac was a mechanism put in place to manage the debt.
There you go.
The bank debt. So let us not say Finsac created a meltdown. Finsac never created a meltdown. Finsac was created after the meltdown. Finsac was the body that put in place to manage the debt. The problem that I am having is that I want to know if the powers that be created the meltdown so Finsac could come in and rescue it. And then when it rescued, it went to a particular set of people. That is what needs to come out in the investigation.
Hold on for me, Garfield. Hold on for me a while. Hold on for me, please. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back. Just a moment for me, please. Just a moment, please. Just a moment.
We were what? Flung aside and discarded as rubbish. We were called bad debtors. That after more than a century of successful Jamaican businesses, the 1990s ushered in a period in which the positive relationship between productive entrepreneurs and their financial partners or banks came to a crashing halt. Thousands of healthy Jamaican businesses, some of which had grown to become regional and world beaters, were disdainfully discarded by our national economic stewards as bad debtors.
Because although I came into the party through Dr. Omar Davies, because I knew him in the financial sector, where I had been like one of the leading corporate lawyers in Jamaica and very involved in financial engineering. And so when he was Minister of Finance, a lot of the things that required industry input, I was one of the representatives of the industry that he would deal with. I got to know him through that. And that's how I got into the PNP really, through my relationship with him.
Whilst most people know Mark because of his being a top lawyer and a key man in the financial sector, comrades, this man is all round. He's multifaceted. On November 7th, I want you, comrades, to join me and go with Golden.
Can you imagine a man who has never earned the reputation of being an entrepreneur, does not know what it is to find a pay bill when you have men waiting on that pay bill to go home to feed them family? And that man who has never made a pay bill in his life, going to look at people who have 50 years experience as entrepreneur, black entrepreneur who built this country since independence, and you go and look on them and style them as bad debtors?
You know, Omar Davies really...
Garfield?
Yes, sir.
Welcome back to the program. Sorry about that. I was deal with something very important a while ago. Go ahead.
Well, you know, Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah, you're talking about Cash Plus and so forth. Why the Labour Party has Finsac Report and don't want to release it? I don't know. Go and ask the Labour Party. Garfield is still there with us?
Yeah, man. You hearing me?
Yeah, man. I'm hearing you loud and clear.
Yeah, man. I think we're getting a feedback, man. We're getting a feedback.
No.
You hear it better now?
Very much better. I hear very much better now. Go ahead.
Okay. So, Finsac, this thing, it's a major meltdown.
Oh Lord, what happened there? It's a major meltdown of the financial sector of the 1990s. Thank you. I'll focus on teaching you guys. Hold on. Yeah, Garfield, welcome back to the program.
Yeah, man. The point I'm making is this. I was looking at a comment and someone asked what party benefited mostly from the Finsac thing.
Both of them.
And I'm being categorically honest here. I am. It is very hard for me to put it on a scale because we are not privy to the transcript nor a report. Yeah, and frankly speaking, I can't say, but only Sunday night I was listening to a lady by the name of Yola Baker.
Yes, I remember her.
Who seems to have the notes, and
yes.
frankly speaking, she have said that present ministers in the House today, past ministers, have benefited enormously from Finsac.
So in other words, the two political parties has benefited from Finsac, and that is correct. why the two parties do not want to release Finsac report.
And I will even go as far. And I was having a conversation with an operative, right? And he said to me, Garfield, I don't even know if I want to continue this conversation. And I asked him if he got a phone call, and he said no. But when you look at it though, where this gentleman right now, there's a gentleman, I can't remember his name, but he's in somewhere in the Alpha Tree area.
I know who you're talking.
Selling some fruits and stuff forth, and he could barely walk.
Yes.
And this is a man who never doesn't come like him come from any great financial means in life. This is a man that pulled up his bootstrap and did well for himself, and he tried to borrow some money to invest. And he has lost everything he has, and he has nowhere to live today. So and as one of the former minister in the People's National Party has said that this is the biggest, this is the first time in his life he can say the wealth of the poor people was taken away and given to the rich.
I know who said it.
You understand? So I think that was Ronnie Twits.
No, man, it was the former Minister of Health.
Education?
No. It was Carl Blight who said it.
Carl Blight? Oh, okay. So, okay, Carl Blight. Okay, yeah, Carl Blight, yes. And when you hear a former minister is going to make that statement, right? And I mean, even me myself, I had an account at Workers Bank as a youth.
I did. Listen to me. I used to have an account at Central Bank, one at Workers Bank. All right.
My mother had an account at Central Bank, and I remember my mother went there and took some money to buy a Fiat Uno. If you remember those cars.
I remember those cars. Yes.
A Fiat Uno. She paid like $150,000 for the Fiat Uno, and this was in about 1996. Right? She paid $150,000 for it. I mean, well, she couldn't even drive the car. It was a stick shift car. She bought the car and couldn't drive it herself. And I remember when she would come to the US here and do her little living work and thing. And she said she have to pay the car payment back. And I remember when she done pay, she tell me she finished paying for the car. She pay over $500,000.
All right. Because of the high interest rate.
Because of $150,000, she paid $500,000. When I add it up and tally it, it was $500,000. And then, but luckily for her, right? Luckily for her, she got the loan from Central National Bank. But when it went down, Jeffrey, she still owed them a couple bucks, but she had the title.
Well, she gonna get better from it.
No, she didn't get anything because she already gave them about $150,000 away, and then she was in it for about $300,000 climbing. And when Central National Bank went down, my mother said she went here to make her payment, and she said the door closed.
I remember the day I was downtown Negril, and I will never forget this day. I can't tell you where we used to have our business place. Anyway, we're downtown Negril, and we see a whole group of police siren blaring up to the 7 Mile Bridge. I said, what the hell is going on? When I went back into where we were, somebody said to my adopted father, they're about to lock down Central Bank. I hear you and say, Lord Jesus, what the hell is going on? So when he continued calling Century, no answer from Century. So everybody started to figure out what the hell is going on. So every business people started calling around to each other. And the group I went up there. When I went up there, Finance Ministry, along with, at that time, it was Mocha. It was something else.
So with the flying squad.
Flying squad, yes.
Flying squad.
Went up there and they put lock and key in Central Bank.
Yeah, man.
People, I am not on here for PNP or JLP. Do your history. Have your own opinion on it.
And you know, Jeffrey, what is the saddest thing about this, Jeffrey? The Jamaica Redevelopment Foundation or the bank, whatsoever that these assets were transferred to sell. Jeffrey, the normal Jamaicans didn't even know that these entities exist, you know.
Thank you.
And I want somebody to understand this. When you hear the word foundation, Jeffrey, the word foundation means charity.
Thank you.
Foundation. So they shouldn't be in it for profit.
So when
you understand?
So when they hear that Andrew Holness do this and do that, is that Andrew alone doing this thing?
Well, I don't want to go down the political realm of things, but what I want people to know is this, is that when a crime is being perpetrated onto poor people, whether it's JLP or PNP, whether it's a PNP benefiting or the JLP benefiting, it is wrong.
It is wrong.
That is why I am holding my breath for a journalist in Jamaica to ask the opposition leader if he has any hand in Finsac, to ask the Prime Minister if he has any hand or anybody in his party, or when we are going to get the report so the Jamaican people can know what went on. The former Finance Minister is still alive.
Yes.
So question can be asked. Audley Shaw is still alive. Peter Phillips is still alive. Nigel Clark is still alive. All of these previous finance ministers, they have to be aware of how the Finsac thing went down, and they need to come out to the Jamaican people and let the Jamaican the former Prime Minister is still alive. PJ Patterson.
Yes.
The former Bruce Collin is still alive. The only person can't help us is Portia Simpson Miller because she's not healthy. But Andrew can help us. These are the people needs to come out for the good of Jamaica and put aside all political victimization and let the Jamaican people know exactly what's going on. Because when you know something, Jeffrey, you can sleep well. But when you don't know when you are asleep and you don't know if the police are knock your door, you can't sleep well. So, but when you know, you can give up yourself and face the consequence and face the dance. So all these people, we need journalism in Jamaica to come back alive and keep these questions burning. That same lady, Eula Baker, said, if you notice, no media houses in Jamaica is willing to carry on the task because they were threatened. If they continue an argument, they're going to lose the political spoils for commercials and for government services. And unfortunately, seems like the media houses in Jamaica is buckling under pressure.
Yes,
but I will tell you this, Jeffrey, in closing. The only place where the heroes are, they are in the park. So be careful.
You want these heroes in the park. Listen, you. But listen to me, Garfield, before you go. I was listening to that program that night and our good friend show, you know.
Yes.
I was listening to it and I wanted to reach out to you and say, when I reach out, let's leave it alone. But I was listening to it. And it was very interesting.
It was very interesting and he was not biased.
No, he was not.
He laid it out on the table, sir.
He was not. And
he laid it out on the table.
Yes,
and that is what I want to tell you. But Jeffrey, as I say to you again in closing, only heroes are in the park, my friend. All right, I gotta go.
All right, my friend. Thank you very much. Good. There you have it. As I said before, go and do your research. Go and do your research because believe you me, this nation of ours is something else, you know? I have the call coming again. Good afternoon, welcome to the Mek Wi Talk program, you're live. Hello?
Sir Jeffrey.
Yes.
Good afternoon, how are you?
I'm here looking on the window.
Man, very interesting program today. Today you remind me of a patriotic Jamaican, one who has put color aside and whatever other else sentiments you may share, and you are champion the cause of the people of Jamaica and the injustice that was meted out to a people who their only crime was to be ambitious, industrious, and want to see the better for their country. And for me, I will hold the People's National Party administration responsible, and the reason why I say this, because they were the administration that presided over such an atrocity. And at the end of the day, that was carried out on the Jamaican people. And up until this day, the Jamaica economy has not recovered from that blow that we got in the 1990s. Because when you look at I heard you say that you was listening to Chopper's media on Sunday night. Hey, when I hear that lady share their experience, one thing come to mind. If Sir Jeffrey had perpetrated this act on anybody else, Sir Jeffrey would be in prison, rotting, charged with fraud, embezzlement, wire fraud, all name them, they would have thrown the book at you. But because of those who were involved, were in, as we would call them, the untouchable of society, they raped and pillaged the Jamaican people.
And that is why, sir, the Jamaican people must demand accountability in this country. They must demand that the Finsac Report must be released to the people of this country. And the Jamaican people must demand that the investigation into SSL must be made public.
Because wherever taxpayers, and I agree with you 100%, sir, wherever the taxpayers' money of Jamaica is spent, we have a right to know what the money was spent for, and we need to see the goods for which the money was spent for. We need to understand that these people who are elected, they're not go there as owners, they are there as managers, and they are there to manage their affair in the best interest of the people who put them there. And I'm so happy that you're doing such a program today, that it will wake up those who are red and those who are too green to see anything at all, and realize that when it all comes down to it, it's the Jamaican people who suffer the consequences. When you go into the food store today, the prices are not asking you what color you are, and if you are red, they're gonna get lower, or if you are green, you're gonna get a discount. No, the prices are the same, and wherever you go, the fees that you have to pay are the same, the taxes are the same. So we need to stop about these politicians, because all they are doing is enriching themselves, their crony and their close friends and associate. As you make mention of the member of parliament who made the statement, it was the minister, the former minister of education, Ronald Tweed, who was at the time yeah, man, it was Ronald Tweed who said it. It was called Blight who said it. Yeah, man, for Trenchtown, I don't know which one of what constituency he would be in.
I know I know who you're talking.
But Colbert was also Finsac too, because he had this case. He was also Finsac, because he had borrowed some money too, and they dragged him. He was dragged before the court. And there is also this other hotelier in Montego Bay. I think his name is Mr. Dyer. He also shared his experience that he borrowed $15 million and he ended up paying back $154 million, and he have to drag them to the court because he decided that he was going to just lay down and be run over.
And I tell you something, sir. A lot of Negril people who own bread and breakfast in Negril went under because of Finsac.
Yep.
A man, I won't call his name now, own a vast amount of land that his family inherited. And he must have borrowed some money and had some money inside Central Bank. That went under. The man has never been recovered.
Yeah. And as you see, he was listening to the program.
When people come on this platform and talk and leave this and leave that alone, you must know the history. And I will not apologize what I'm going to say. No better barrel, no better herring.
Sir, one of the things you realize with us as a people, we have not matured, and the powers that be understand us, understand our psyche, knowing that we are a people who when it comes to ignorance, we pride ourselves in ignorance and just be waiting to hear what the politician have to say, or the person closest to the politician. And in the words of the late Marcus Garvey, if you do not know your history,
thank you,
you are bound to repeat it. Because, sir, I don't know how much people can recall, the now present opposition leader, Mr. Golden, along with the opposition spokesman and finance, which I think is Mr. Bunting, along with his business associate, Mr. Chris Daring, when they were operating Bunting, Daring and Golding investment banking, they were also investigated by the then contractor general and was recommended for charges to be brought against them.
Hold on for me. Maybe it was so, but I can't recall about that. Maybe I was in Jamaica in time there.
Yeah, man, you can just go back to the contractor general's website, and it is there. The document is there. The report is there. So we need to understand, and also we see that after the closing down of that investment banking, there's another one that they are a part of now, which is called Proven. Do a research on Proven and see where it is financially right now. It is in a financial quagmire right now as we speak. So I'm saying to the Jamaican people, if Mr. Jeffrey is coming to put himself forward to represent you, Mr. Jeffrey has to come with a track record. What have you been successful at, so that I give you responsibility to represent me? What will be the benefit of me asking you or selecting you or electing you to go represent me? Jamaican people, please, I'm asking us. We have come so far out of slavery.
Let me ask you a question, though.
Sir.
What has Andrew Holness had before he entered politics?
Before he entered politics, he was involved in what? He was involved in business.
What kind of business?
Because remember, he had the thing that they closed in, that he had that offshore business that he had in St. Lucia.
No. The question I ask you, sir, before the Prime Minister of Jamaica, the current one now, decide to enter politics, what was he involved in? Was he a business person? Did he own a hotel? Did he own an oil refinery?
But from what I've learned from the little that I've done on him, he came to prominence based on his performance in the education ministry.
No. You still answer the question. I am saying, repeat the question to you. Before Andrew Michael Holness entered representation politics, what did he have? What did he own? Was he an owner for a business or what?
I haven't found anything on him owning any business.
Oh.
Because the only thing I can make reference to, because I know they make mention of this in the 2016 election, that he had offshore business in St. Lucia, and that was one of the things that they brought up. You know that he's having.
Go back and read. Go back and read.
All right. Anyway, so what I'm saying now, I know that he came to prominence in the political sphere through his work in education. And he was for
some years now, sir. He did not come to no promise because he worked in education.
What was
answer your question, sir. What did the Prime Minister have before he became a politician?
Yeah, man, I will circle that already. I said
no.
I said I can't recall any business that he was I said he was a businessman, but during my research I can't say boy Mr. Holness was the president or the CEO of XYZ before.
So
you
are the one who said he was a businessman. A businessman in what?
That's what I'm saying. I say I can't describe a business that he owned except for the business that they made mention of that he had in that he ran in.
That was way before that.
That was way before he became Prime Minister, right?
No. Is after he became Prime Minister, before he became Prime Minister, he had those business?
No, man, it was before. It was before he became Prime Minister. I remember, remember, he replaced Bruce Collin. He wasn't elected then.
And I'm asking you then. Okay. Before Prime Minister Michael Andrew Brogard Holness become Minister Opposition Spokesperson and Education, before he become a member of the Labour Party, what business did he own? And when he was up in opposition, what business did he have?
Okay, and I'm going to answer you like I answered before. I cannot put any name to any business that say this was owned or operated by Mr. Holness.
So why you keep on saying when he was in a Minister of Education he become permanent? Permanent in what?
No, man, I say no. I say he came to prominence in the political sphere in the Ministry of Education. That's what I said.
And what has he done? What has he done to alleviate the literacy rate in Jamaica?
What? Why, Mister? That's a work in progress. That's a work in. All the education, health, security, all of those are work in progress.
I tell you something, You see, with Jamaican people, this country will never be better because you know why? We believe too much in our party. We don't believe in Jamaica. We have an extra coming in. Thank you for calling in.
Okay, sir.
All right. The number to call is 954-529-8030. Good afternoon. Welcome to the Mek Wi Talk program. You're live.
Good afternoon, Sir Jeffrey. This is Cayman Island.
Good afternoon, Georgetown, West Bay, Eastern, North Side.
Boddentown.
Yes.
Question. You have some people who try to sound intelligent, but they sound so stupid. I always hear this man come on and talk. And you ask him a simple question. What did the Prime Minister own before he entered into politics? And up to now, he cannot give you what him did own or what kind of business him did run. Up to now, him don't give you that no. He only said that him knows him did then some business. What kind of business? Now you're asking the other person behind you to make sure say them can prove themselves. Did this man prove himself?
No, man.
If you say
Hold on, man. What you want to do is it? What you want to do is this.
Yeah.
He want to tell us that Bunting and Golden own one company right now where they go belly up, according to him.
I can't. Nothing like that.
Hold on, no, man. According to him. And based on the topic I have here, because them believe, say no, me they take JLP, say, and I take nobody's side. I'm just showing the history of the meltdown of the financial sector come up to now with what's going on with SSL.
Exactly. But even here,
QYZ, you know better than me, huh?
yeah, you have a company here named Proven, which I think is a subsidiary of the one in Jamaica, and it's very successful.
Proven is in the Cayman Islands, so?
Yes. Proven is in the Cayman Island, and what I gather, it's very successful. And what I gather also, Proven is one of the startup companies that is doing very well. So when this man say it has got belly up, I don't understand where I'm getting information from.
Yeah,
but it's just a narrative. So it's just a narrative. That's why some persons sound like them intelligent, but when you listen to when real facts come to them, they can't make two out of it. Because you ask him a simple question, and all he's going back when he was education minister. Before he entered into representative politics, what did he own? I can attest to that Mark Golin and Peter Bunting and Christopher Darren had owned businesses before they enter politics or whatever sphere that they enter into.
Well, me
These persons were businessmen.
Me did own one folk.
Exactly. You did own you did own a shop down the road. You usually run this. It was also alleged that they did have a taxi company and it doesn't matriculate to anything. So what about those businesses that goes belly up previously? Anyway, you have a wonderful day, sir.
Same day, sir. Thank you. Andrea, how you doing? Ah, Jesus. Nigel Clark, Jamaica's world-class Minister of Finance for 2024. Nigel Clark. We want to hear something about Hussein Bolt money. And other people who have money in a SSL. Nigel Clark. One go tell Yo-Yo, see me. You see one doing something else, you know. Where's Yo-Yo, by the way? I like them to see Yo-Yo, you know. Good afternoon, Miss Walker, Elaine. Miss Elaine, how you doing? I want to know what happened to Nigel Clark, what happened to Hussein Bolt money. When Jesus have Jeffrey behave yourself, don't go down the road there. Don't go down that road. We need the Finsac report though. We need the Finsac report. We need the Finsac report. We don't continue to listen to what this lady is saying. I can start it, but maybe I should start it back over. You know? I need to listen to what this lady is saying because we need to hear it.
It does have a lot to say to one in Jamaica. Ballooned unchecked over the next 5 years until it exploded with a catastrophic bang in 1996. The explosion left shrapnel scattered over the financial landscape, which still impacted on the economy so many years later. My sister Valerie Dixon,
So what I want to bring out this morning is that a lot of people do not understand where this thing came from. And I want to just read a little from an appendix that was written in the Observer some time ago. It says, when Omar Davies, then PNP Finance Minister in the 1990s, began the process of dismantling the Central National Bank, it was done immediately after the Don Crawford run entity had bought a significant sum of US dollars at a few dollars more than the price that the official exchange rate indicated. The bank did nothing which other banks were not doing in a time when an inept PNP government was struggling with managing a market economy which it knew little or nothing about. What the sale of those dollars did was reveal that the very same finance ministry was covertly, that means underground, dispatching agents with huge stacks of cash in the trunks of their cars to buy US dollars at prices above the official exchange rate. The money was stolen eventually. With blood rushing to its head when this action was revealed, an embarrassed PNP government set about withdrawing public funds from the Central National Bank, making it publicly known. And in the process, it started or triggered a run on the bank, which was seemingly designed to end its life. That, however, is a sad history for the most progressive bank existing in Jamaica at that time.
Because although I came...
What did the government do? Explain to us, Val, what did the government do exactly? Because we only talk about the Finsac debacle. What exactly are we talking about?
Okay. You went to your bed last night and interest rate, let's say for argument's sake, is at 30%. You wake up this morning and you see a headline in the newspaper that says government to increase interest rate to 64%. Please tell me which business would be able to fill that gap between paying interest rate at 30% and suddenly jump with no notice to paying interest rate at 60 and probably more. Overdraft interest rate went up overnight to 120%.
And the impact of that action on businesses was what you are describing.
That is exactly what I'm describing. So how is it that these people who are running business for over all these decades suddenly overnight become bad debtors? Do you see the point I'm making there?
Yes, as a matter of fact,
we were villainized.
Yes.
We were hounded down like common criminals. And we had to watch our businesses go up in smoke. While foreign investors came in, they got tax breaks, they got tax holidays, and we were what? Flung aside and discarded as rubbish. We were called bad debtors. That after more than a century of successful Jamaican businesses, the 1990s ushered in a period in which the positive relationship between productive entrepreneurs and their financial partners or banks came to a crashing halt. Thousands of healthy Jamaican businesses, some of which had grown to become regional and world beaters, were disdainfully discarded by our national economic stewards as bad debtors. Can you imagine a man who has never earned the reputation of being an entrepreneur, does not know what it is to find a pay bill when you have men waiting on that pay bill to go home to feed them family? And that man who has never made a pay bill in his life, going to look at people who have 50 years experience as entrepreneur, black entrepreneur who built this country since independence, and you go and look on them and style them as bad debtors?
Lord Jesus. What a woe situation, what a woe. Weeping and wailing, lightning and thunder, what a woe.
You know, Omar Davies really does have a lot to say he has not yet made, he needs to one apologize, but he also, and he was the finance minister at the time, and this is why I'm identifying him, but he really does have to stand up before he dies and talk to those survivors, talk to those victims. Some killed themselves, some committed suicide. This is how serious this was. Talk to the Jamaican entrepreneurs, the black people in Jamaica who suffered so as a result of those of Finsac, and making peace with God and the ancestors.
So I came into the party through Dr. Omar Davies because I knew him in the financial sector. It is time to focus on that Jamaica crisis has passed. The plan is to reduce the public debt as rapidly as possible to 60%.
Opposition leader supported it. Opposition leader cannot proposal slow the pace of debt reduction, whatever he called it. That if a
Here you have it. You know, I play the part that not concern me. This part doesn't concern me at all. But there you have it. There you have it. And I want you all to listen to something else too. You remember Cash Plus? Ay, Jesus. Me tell you, say no. And a little sitting we got through in the country, you know. And a little sitting we as Jamaicans got through in this country, you know. Oh, Jesus, have mercy, dear God. You look what we got through in this country. Hold on there for me. I can look for this thing here. You think I look at something we got through in this country? As citizens of this country, by politicians in this country? God in heaven. Watch this video here.
Because I was a member of Cash Plus and I made money.
It's been years since Cash Plus, one of the biggest Ponzi scheme ever to hit Jamaica, caused financial distress to thousands across the island. And today, there are persons who still believe that the scheme was legitimate and was here to help poor people. In this video, I will be playing a clip with an individual who thinks that Cash Plus was legit and was here to make people rich. Let's look at the video together and then I will explain.
I'm going to take this call and come back to the Cash Plus video. Good afternoon, welcome to the Mek Wi Talk program.
Jeffrey!
How are you doing, East Kings and Port Royal?
With the ear.
Hold on, East Kingston.
Oi.
You remember the 1990s with Finsac?
They're not Finsac alone. Them, yes, I use the Cash Plus. They want to hold in. Hold in at the last one, you know.
Hold in for true, yes.
Me say when me hear about Cash Plus, you know, and get ready for go get some money at that time. The Cash Plus ain't crash. Me say, hear me, good God Almighty. You know why it crash? Me can't take losses. I swear. So history just repeat itself, Jeffrey.
Over and over.
History just repeating itself. But it is sad though. It is sad though. And it's time for we as Jamaican need to put a stop to it. It doesn't matter whether you're P, whether you're PNP or you're JLP, you're no P at all. History can just repeat itself over and over. And it's just, as I said to somebody, it's just one cycle, but in different circle.
As what?
You understand?
And a lady, well, not a lady, somebody on the platform, and it was a lady, who said that today is the day that she's going to unsubscribe from this channel because I come out the time about PNP of the 1990s. Mama.
Yeah, but Marcus Garvey say, you know, if you don't know where you come from, you can't know where you go. And a tree without a nation without its history is like a tree without a root.
I don't know.
So you have to keep on.
I don't know why.
We have to keep.
I don't know why some people believe
Mm.
Jamaica get to where it's now because of this administration. It did not. The both of them have. The both of them have a lot to do with it.
Yes, yes, they do, and we must be fair and true to ourselves. Not because you're die-hearted PNP and you're die-hearted Labour right. No, look into yourself. How did we get here? And a Labour right alone and a PNP alone, both parties. No better hearing, as what you said, no better hearing, no better barrel. And that is the thing I tell people all the time. Two things in my life I tell myself, so I'm not really discussing. Politics and religion. No? I would never get nowhere.
As I said before, I will not tell the Jamaican people who to vote for.
Exactly.
What I will say is this. This election is coming up. The soul of Jamaica's democracy relies on the people of Jamaica. The soul of Jamaica's democracy relies on the people of Jamaica. And if Mark Jefferson Golden has presented himself to be our next leader of Jamaica, Mr. Golden need to come out with some more ideas, some more plans for this country, present them to the Jamaican people. Jamaicans, the soul of Jamaica's democracy relies on you, the Jamaican people. Do not let Jamaica become like Sri Lanka or Haiti. Go ahead.
No, sir. And it's time for us as Jamaican need to look beyond past our nose. We can't just say, all right, a JLP and a care what my JLP and a JLP. Yeah, and all right, the PNP and a care what my PNP. And if then, no, wrong is wrong and right is right. You can't mix the two of them together. You can't mix the two of them together, man. Come on, people, it's time for us to wake up. Me don't know if me alone see it. Me don't know if me alone see it, but you say I like me. Come election day, me know what me I go do, and at that time, the talking will be stopped. You know, see, the talking will be stopped on election day, right? The talking will be stopped. So we need to get past this die-hearted and this die-hearted and this die-hearted. It's not going anywhere. It only make poor people more poorer. And we, as the little dirty foot chosen man, as come to Mr. Perkins, the great Mutty Perkins, we need to look beyond that. Look behind that. What are your worth? What are your worth? You worth more than that. What are you getting now? What are you getting now? You need to get more than that. And what you're getting is squalor. PJ Patterson did say in the center cannot hold. So, just for me the year, me I go and listen.
All right, darling. Thanks for calling in. We're not going to take any more call until after I finish this thing here. After I finish this, I am getting some news here. I can't confirm this. But Jamaica's new finance minister look like he's an Indian man come from India. I cannot confirm what I'm seeing. I won't call any names on it. But I'm being told that he's appointed to the Senate, and he is minister of Finance. He's going to be in the Ministry of Finance. I cannot confirm what I am seeing and what I'm getting on my phone. I haven't worked my sources yet to find out anything. But I'm being told that Jamaica is going to have a new Minister of Finance. And he must come from somewhere up there, so, Mama. Anyway, I want you all to listen to something here. I want you all to listen to something here. Then we're going to listen to the whole Cash Plus business here. And then we're going to take some calls.
Why Cash Plus failed and why it was definitely a Ponzi scheme.
All right, Eru. So tell me about Cash Plus. Me can never understand the history of Cash Plus. I mean, folks from them time they tell me, and me just can't wrap my brain around it. Tell me about it.
Well, Cash Plus was a financial institution that came to save poor people. That you could give Cash Plus $100,000 and you get 10% interest on your money.
Now tell me something now. Cash Plus come to save poor people. The bank now give a 10% interest, but Cash Plus can give a 10% interest. God Almighty help you. Watch this.
Now, at that time, the banks were giving you 2.
Hold on there for me. I don't know why this thing come up. Hold on there for me. I don't know why this stupid thing come up here.
2% on your money. 2%. So you're getting 8% more from Cash Plus. Now, what happened is that most people started to take their money out of the big banks to carry it into Cash Plus. And it is the first in the history of Jamaica that you had what they call an exit interview. That before you could get your money, the banks would interview you to find out what are you going to do with this money. 99.9% of the people that were taking out their money told them that we were going to put the money in Cash Plus. It is at this stage that the Bankers Association had a meeting to decide what are we going to do. We, quote unquote, meaning the Bankers Association in Jamaica. What are we going to do with Cash Plus? Because this man is mashing up our business. And immediately after that, they started to dishonor checks that were drawn. Even though the money was there, the man had the money to back the check. Because this is what, a check is a promissory note that I have this money and you can redeem this money by giving this check. The bank started to dishonor all Cash Plus checks. And eventually, people started to have problems because you have the check, you can't get the money, and you have the business to do. So eventually, Cash Plus had to close. And when it closed, you realize that a golden opportunity to make poor people rich was thrown away because of the oligarchy.
Hold on. Tell me something now. So is the dishonored checks mash up in business?
Yes.
Or did he do something illegally?
No, he did nothing illegal. Everything he did, what they were claiming, and they tried to create a propaganda that he had a Ponzi scheme, that he used one person's money to pay another person. So when you come in with your money, your new money, because your money had to stay for, I think, a month before you get your 10%. So they were saying that he used the new money that people bring in to pay the old money. But what they forgot, that the owner of Cash Plus, Mr. Carlos Hill, had invested in a phone company, Megaphone, in which he was selling cellular phones at a much cheaper rate. And a lot of people became subscribers to Cash Plus because when you had a Cash Plus phone, you could make free international calls. And they were also afraid of that aspect of it. Free international calls. The next thing, Mr. Hill had purchased 2 hotels. And these hotels he would use to make more money out of it because the hotels were in high demand. High demand. So we understand that he had invested a lot of the money in also real estate. So he was a very astute businessman because up to today they cannot jail him because he did nothing wrong.
So well on there. So in his own way, Carlos was a revolutionary poor people businessman.
Yes. He was a revolutionary poor people businessman.
One of the reasons why should I go down the road there? One of the reasons why all know nothing have come out of that thing, because nobody went forward to do an investigation. But they was afraid of their life. Because as usual, politics involved in it.
Astute businessman, because I was a member of Cash Plus and I made money.
I beg to differ from the man in the video, as everyone knows that Cash Plus was a Ponzi scheme, and it was definitely not here to make poor people rich, but to rather enrich its founder by conning the poor out of their hard-earned money. Cash Plus was founded by Carlos Hill and began operations in Jamaica in 2002 with the promise of extraordinary financial returns. At its peak, it attracted thousands of investors, allured by the prospect of earning up to 10% per month on their investments. However, the scheme's spectacular collapse in 2008 revealed the harsh reality. Cash Plus was a classic Ponzi scheme. Now, I will explore the defining characteristics of a Ponzi scheme and demonstrate how Cash Plus fits this fraudulent mold. Let's first start off with defining a Ponzi scheme. A Ponzi scheme is a fraudulent investment operation where returns to earlier investors are paid using the capital of newer investors rather than from profit earned by the operation of a legitimate business. Key features of Ponzi scheme includes promise of high returns with little risk, offering unusually high returns compared to traditional investments. Lack of transparency, obscure or vague investment strategies. Consistent returns irrespective of market conditions, delivering stable returns that seem unaffected by economic fluctuations, and the recruitment of new investors, constant need for new investors to pay returns to earlier investors. Now, let's look at Cash Plus unrealistic high returns. Cash Plus promise returns as high as 10% per month. Such high returns are highly unusual and unsustainable in legitimate investments. 10% return per month adds up to 120% per year. Not even the world's greatest investor, Warren Buffett, can achieve 120% per year. Warren Buffett's average return per year sits at about 20%. And if you were to put your money in the S&P 500, your annual return would be about 10.2%. With Cash Plus annual return of 120% per year or 10% per month, if you invested $1 million into the scheme, your money would have grown to approximately $3.1 million at the end of the year. During the mid-2000s, when Cash Plus was operating in Jamaica, traditional banks typically offered much lower interest rates on savings accounts and fixed deposits compared to the high returns promised by Cash Plus. While specific rates can vary, the general interest rates offered by banks at that time were significantly lower. Typical interest rates provided by banks during that period on savings accounts were usually quite modest, often ranging between 0.5% and 2% per annum. These rates were reflective of the low-risk nature of savings accounts and fixed deposits. Fixed deposits accounts, also known as term deposits, generally offered higher interest rates compared to savings accounts, but still far below the returns promised by high-yield investment schemes like Cash Plus. Fixed deposit rates typically range between 3% and 7% per annum, depending on the term length and the bank's policies. Investing in government bonds was another option for conservative investors. The interest rates for government bonds during that period usually range from 5% to 10% per annum, offering a safe alternative with relatively higher returns compared to standard savings accounts. In contrast, Cash Plus promised extraordinarily high returns of up to 10% per month. This was vastly higher than any traditional banking products available at the time, which should have raised red flags for investors. Now, look at the stark difference. Cash Plus promised returns of 10% per month, while banks if you had a savings account with them, was given 0.5% to 2% per year. If you had a fixed deposit, it was 3% to 7% per year, and government bonds was 5% to 10% per year. The dramatic difference in promised returns is a key indicator of the high risk and potentially fraudulent nature of Cash Plus, as such high returns are unsustainable and typical characteristic of Ponzi schemes. Now, what was Cash Plus investing in to be making these huge returns at the time? Well, the details of how Cash Plus generated such high returns were never clearly disclosed. Investors were kept in the dark about the specific ventures and strategies employed. Carlos Hill and Cash Plus claimed to invest in a range of legitimate businesses. These included real estate projects, tourism, and other commercial ventures. So, did Cash Plus actually build or purchase any hotels? Cash Plus, under the leadership of Carlos Hill, made several high-profile claims about their investments, including the purchase of significant properties such as the Hylton Kingston Hotel and the Draxall Estate. However, these claims were part of the broader narrative that the scheme used to attract investors. It was widely publicized that Cash Plus had acquired the Hylton Kingston Hotel, one of Jamaica's prominent hotels. Although there were announcements and a significant amount of publicity around the supposed purchase, the deal was never fully realized. Investigations and subsequent reports indicated that the purchase was never completed and the supposed acquisition was more a part of the scheme's marketing to bolster credibility and attract more investments. Cash Plus also claimed to have purchased Draxall Estate, a large property in St. Ann, Jamaica, intended for development into a major tourism and residential project. Similarly to the Hylton Kingston Hotel claim, the purchase and development plans of Draxall Estate were part of the scheme's strategy to present an image of substantial profitable investments. However, investigations reveal that these claims were largely exaggerated or unfounded, and the funds were not effectively utilized for such developments.
Florida homeowners, did you know that right now you can get a brand new AC unit for your home at no cost to you? That's right, Florida just approved a new.
Now, what about Cash Plus mobile phone service provider called Megaphone? Cash Plus announced plans to launch a mobile phone service provider called Megaphone. This was part of a broader strategy to diversify their business interests and demonstrate tangible investments. The introduction of Megaphone was publicized as a way to bolster investor confidence and attract more investments by showing that Cash Plus was expanding into the telecommunications industry. While there were announcements and some initial steps taken towards...
You know, I know say something, you know, I apologize for me don't say, you know. Hey, we Jamaican people fool no duck, you know. We fool no duck. When you realize them, the amount of people come to this country, come scam we. Huh? Government scam we, people come back on scam we own the scam we. Blessed Jesus, look down from on high upon we all. Listen to this and then we're going to take some calls. But we're going to show the SSL video and then we take some calls.
Launching Megaphone, the service never reached significant operational status. There were reports of some limited operations such as promotional activities and preliminary setups, but Megaphone did not become a fully functional and widely used mobile service provider. The initiative to launch Megaphone was largely seen as another attempt by Cash Plus to project an image of diversification and investment in legitimate business ventures. However, like other claims made by Cash Plus, the reality fell short of the promises, and the initiative did not generate sustainable revenue or significant market presence. One of the major features of Cash Plus, which is a key characteristic of Ponzi schemes, was its ability to deliver consistent returns irrespective of market conditions. Cash Plus was given up to 10% on your investment per month. Such high returns are highly unusual and unsustainable for legitimate investment vehicles, especially in the face of fluctuating market conditions. Investors were reportedly receiving these high returns consistently month after month, regardless of broader economic trends or market volatility. This consistency was crucial in maintaining investor confidence and attracting more investments. Legitimate investments typically experience fluctuations due to market conditions, economic cycles, and various risk factors. The ability of Cash Plus to deliver stable and high returns despite these variables was a significant red flag. The consistent returns were part of the scheme's strategy to create an illusion of a highly profitable and stable investment opportunity. In reality, these returns were not generated through legitimate business activities or market performance. Instead, returns were paid to earlier investors using the capital from newer investors. As long as new investments kept flowing in, Cash Plus could maintain the facade of stability and profitability. As with all Ponzi schemes, the collapse of Cash Plus was inevitable. When the influx of new investors slowed, Cash Plus could no longer meet its obligations to existing investors. This led to a liquidity crisis and eventual collapse. Following the collapse, Carlos Hill was arrested and charged with fraud. The investigation revealed that Cash Plus had been operating without a sound business model and had no legitimate means of generating the promised returns. The scheme's collapse highlighted the absence of regulatory oversight and the need for stringent investment regulations. Thousands of investors suffered significant financial losses, with many losing their life savings. The collapse of Cash Plus had a devastating impact on the financial stability of numerous Jamaican households and eroded public trust in investment opportunities. Now, did you know that government policies at the time helped schemes like Cash Plus to thrive? Both Cash Plus and another scheme, Olint, thrived due to human greed and poor economic policies in Jamaica. These policies, especially from the 1980s and 1990s, involve short-term measures to manage excess money in the economy, leading to high interest rates and speculative investments. The government's monetary policies encourage people to invest in treasury bills and certificates of deposits instead of productive ventures, resulting in a speculative economy with little real growth. The 1990s saw a rise in merchant banks and a booming stock market, creating wealth on paper without real economic development. The financial crisis in the late 1990s led to a further distrust in traditional business operations, which led to people favoring quick money schemes like Cash Plus and Olint. As legitimate banks lost deposit to these schemes, they adopted by indirectly supporting the schemes through loans. Yes, banks were lending their clients monies against their own deposits to go and invest in Cash Plus. The government, however, intervened when the traditional banks felt threatened, as too many people were pulling money out to invest in Cash Plus. Political opposition complicated the issue, with some politicians defending the schemes, saying it was here to help the poor. Today, Carlos Hill is a free man, but you might ask, why is he free? After 8 years of delays, Carlos Hill's case concluded without clear evidence of fraud, highlighting weaknesses in Jamaica's justice system. In the trial of Carlos Hill, the prosecution indicated in court that although they had hoped to rely on the testimony of 16 witnesses, only one person had come forward. An additional person willing to testify appeared in court, but the prosecution recognized that the testimony would not be sufficient to prove Carlos Hill guilty of the offense with which he was charged. As a result, the prosecution offered no evidence in court, and the trial judge ordered the jury to return formal verdicts of not guilty. Many victims of the scheme lost interest or were too embarrassed to continue their claims, which ultimately led to the freedom of Carlos Hill. Today, more than 40,000 Cash Plus investors are still owed close to 10 billion Jamaican dollars, and since 2017, it seems like Carlos Hill has disappeared in thin air. Might be somewhere enjoying the millions he took from poor people. Who knows?
Ah, Jesus have mercy, dear God in heaven. Father God, have mercy upon we, Lord. Have mercy upon this nation. Unu see what's going on? Then it comes up to this one now. SSL. You see it? You have the financial sector of Finsac, Cash Plus. Remember the other one name, and now you have this one here. Who is Miss Jones? Remember who name Miss Jones again? Good afternoon. Welcome to the Mek Wi Talk program. You're live.
Yes, sir. Good afternoon, Brother G. Good man from South. I enjoying your program, man. You are impartial. You are quality. Let me tell you something. I like the history. I like how you are impartial and you deal with both things in the context of what you deal with. But what I am glad about is to know that we use those things and develop the Financial Service Commission. We also use it to put the Integrity Committee in place. How are we going to move forward, my brother? Like your program today. Believe you me, I am satisfied. Respect, continue your good work.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much.
All right, Jeff, the man from down so the great grandfather, you know.
Yeah, man.
So when you hear the history, how we have to go through, and your I see we both listeners and those who participate, I like your guideline. Be impartial, same way, sir.
Right,
that is your quality, not your skill. All right, your God given knowledge. Respect, my brother.
Thank you.
Respect.
I want you all to listen to the present situation here now with SSL. And I want you to call in. Listen to this thing now with SSL. Because you see the history of what is going on in this country? You see what is going on in this country? Hold on there.
Welcome back to Primetime News.
Special welcome to those of you watching on onespotmedia.com.
Up first this evening, the massive fraud at Stocks and Securities Limited SSL has increased to about $20 million.
The Financial Investigations Division FID gave the stunning development this afternoon, adding that about 70 accounts have been affected.
As the investigation intensifies, the FID is also hoping to arrest and charge more people.
But there's a problem. Investors who apparently lost money are not coming forward. A release from the FID states that for over 10 years, there was an entrenched culture of gross mismanagement at SSL. Director General of the FID, Selvin Hay, says the investigation has taken on new dimensions which are wider than first expected.
What is being uncovered is that there are approximately 70 affected accounts, and this is significantly more than the just over 40 affected accounts that were uncovered at the initial stage. The investigation has also identified other fraudulent schemes at SSL, which have resulted in the misappropriation and or loss of numerous investors' funds, amounting to over $10 million.
That's in addition to another $10 million, bringing the total of the fraud scheme so far to roughly $20 million. And so local investigators, including the police fraud squad, are working with the U.S. Federal Bureau of Investigations, FBI, to follow the money and bring
That's a lie. We don't hear nothing from FBI.
accused parties to court. Kroll, a UK-based forensic accounting and intelligence firm, and the Asset Recovery Interagency Network for the Caribbean are also on the case. Principal Director of Investigations at the FID, Keith Darien, says so far the investigation is bearing fruit.
Before the next court date, we anticipate the arrest and charge of other actors involved in the multiple fraudulent schemes recently discovered. There are certain deliberate actions being taken to support the increased investigative efficiency.
With cooperation from affected.
Hold on here. They said other actors, and it's only one person. One person from SSL is locked up. Nobody is in lockup.
Investors, more can be done.
Our investigators have contacted the affected parties via email and phone calls, but the responses have been short of encouraging. We continue to appeal to those affected to contact the FID. It is a critical part of seeking justice through the courts.
Among those affected by the SSL fraud case, sprint icon Usain Bolt. So far, only Jean Ann Panton has been charged. She is facing a 22-count indictment, charges for forgery, larceny as a servant, and engaging in a transaction involving criminal property. Ms. Panton is due back in court on December 6.
Father, I stretch my hand to thee, O Lord. No other help I have but you, Father. Want to see what's going on in this country? Want to see what's going on in this country? Nobody now go to jail for nothing they do to the poor people of this country. Jean and Panton, she gone. Because she know I give up, who give up? In a Cash Plus, the people then was ashamed or they don't want to let anything see there. They want him gone with $10 billion of tax of Jamaican people money. What they work hard for. Want to see what's going on in this country? Want to see what's going on in this country? The biggest transfer of wealth from the poor to the rich in this country. Want to see what going on? Jamaica, I mean, what's wrong with you? Want to see what's going on in Jamaica? Everybody can go down, they go open Ponzi scheme. And nobody is there to protect the poor people of Jamaica. Yet, when time comes for election, they come to the poor people to vote. God Almighty have mercy upon we. I am seeing something on my phone that they're going to be an Indian individual. Don't know if he's a Jamaican Indian or Indian from India. Become the Minister of Finance. If that is so, was this individual in the country for a period of time before he can appoint it to the Senate? Was he living in Jamaica for a period of time? We don't know, but I'm waiting to get more clarification on this. And I can't nobody name. But based on me getting in the thing here, me can't prove anything, so me not call nobody name. Let's wait. Well, he will be appointed to the Senate. If so be the case, as I said before, we do not know if the man is from India. Not because he looks like an Indian. You have Indian Jamaicans who are in the financial sector in this country. We have no proof that the man is from India. And that's why the Prime Minister went to India. We don't know. A lot of Jamaicans who are Indian from Indian heritage are living in Jamaica. They're born in Jamaica, then grew up in Jamaica. They went to school maybe in Jamaica and overseas. In the financial realms of everything, we don't know that person is from Jamaica or from India. We don't know. And I will not be a part of something what we can't prove. All right? The numbers to call is 954-529-8030. What do you think about the meltdown of the financial sector in the 1990s coming up to now with the meltdown of SSL? 954-529-8030. That's the number to call into the program. Hold on, there, where they going there? 954-529-8030. Yeah, man, I'm gonna check it out online too. There is the hurricane that is threatening towards us here in Florida. Oh, Jesus. Here in Florida, we better be on high alert. We better be careful. Oh, and I think Parliament will be in session at 3 o'clock, you know. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to cut the program and go over to Parliament because I want to hear what is going on in the Parliament. Approximately 580,000 taxpayers to be beneficial from the recent income tax credit. That's very good. That's very good. I know Parliament should be in session today, and I want to hear what's going on in the Parliament. So what I'm going to do, I want to say thank you all for coming on to the program today. It's now a minute before, well, 2:52. 2 o'clock in Jamaica is Parliament, or 3 o'clock in the United States is Parliament. I want to say thank you all for coming on. Thank you all for being a part of the program. As I said before, I hope, who don't want to come back and listen to me, then so be it. We have to do our history. And I just did some history on what is going on in this country. Good afternoon. Welcome to the Mek Wi Talk program. You're live.
Yeah, hello. Good afternoon, Jeffrey. I'm calling from over here in California.
Hey, Bishop, how are you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. I was listening, and I was also watching some of the things you were playing. But I want to talk about SL. I can't really speak too much on Finsac and all those stuff because those things happened when I was a kid. You know, I heard murmurs about it. I heard mentions about it.
Yes.
I can say a few of those businesses, you know, especially from, you know, that financial fraud, you know, exists in my area in Sentai. I know, like, I grew up, you know, up the street from Carinosa, right, which was owned by the former Prime Minister Edward Siaga, and I heard that he owed some money at that hotel as well. So that's the extent of what I know about it. But I want to comment on SSL because what I see is that SSL happened, you know, around the time that FTX happened, right?
What happened?
SSL happened around the same time frame, within that same time frame, or say that same window when FTX, Sam Bankman-Fried, right?
Yes.
Happened in the United States. Sam Bankman-Fried is in prison. And in Jamaica, you have nobody in prison.
Not a soul.
Not that so. That's just so atrocious, right? And one of the things that I saw too is that, and my wife saw it. My wife is actually from the Philippines.
Yes.
And when she saw them wheel, you know, like Jean and Pantan out in a wheelchair, she cried fraud. You know, she suspect that this is a fraud because that's how they do it in the Philippines. When the government officials and the high-ranking people, they get called up on fraud, they wheel them in a wheelchair, and that's a ploy for them. Yes, they know they're gonna go down, but they also know the charges that they're gonna come up on and how long they're gonna stay in prison.
Well,
right?
this young,
but
I don't believe.
Wheelchair, huh?
Sorry, I don't believe that this young lady is the one who's involved in this thing alone. Though, you know. Go ahead.
Yeah, hello.
Yeah, are you hearing me?
Yeah, I'm hearing you now.
Yes, I'm saying to you, I do not believe that Jean and Panton is the only person involved in the SSL saga.
I don't believe so. I don't believe so too, and that's what my wife believes as well. That it's more than one people, but they believe that turning her in was a planned response because she showed up in a wheelchair, and that's a ploy for her to get house arrest. Whenever it all said and done, she's too unstable to stay in the prison system, so they got to put her on house arrest. So yes, you're gonna be charged You're going to be a criminal, but you're not going to see a day in the actual physical jail. And that's kind of how they do it in those Asian territories, but especially in the Philippines.
I tell you something, right? Sir. You and I will never live long enough to see any politician in this country go to prison for anything they do.
Yeah, I believe so, but I also think that the answer cannot be do nothing.
The who?
You know what I mean? We have to do something, and especially with the most recent scandal, you know, surrounding our prime minister. I think the remedy to that is to blow up the coverage. You know, like international coverage. Yes, we have, you know, people like yourself, you know, the media in Jamaica talking about it. Whatever extent they're talking about it, you have a myriad of people talking about it on social media, including myself. But I think what I've done is that I reached out to DJ Academics. DJ Academics is a Jamaican. He's very popular in the hip hop culture, right? He has a lot of notoriety, and I DM'd him and I say, hey, look, I don't want for you. You don't have to form an opinion. I just want you to cover the story. Once you cover the story, somebody else would pick it up. I was trying to get him on you know, like Breakfast Club, you know, like the Donkey of the Day. So I try to reach out to like Charlemagne. I couldn't find him because there's too many of him on Instagram. I reached out to Roland Martin. I reached out to African Diaspora. I have plans to reach out to Democracy Now. Like, if we have enough people like following these people programs and just ask them, hey, just cover the story. There's so much damning stuff in there for you to just cover. You don't even have to have an opinion. I think the media coverage would flush it in his face to where he has to step aside, because there's even now you're announcing that there might be rumors of somebody becoming the Minister of Finance. You know, I don't trust that, because how do I know you're gonna put somebody in the right place that is gonna, or the right person in the right place that is gonna turn around and head up a department that is going to investigate you. So he just need to step aside for the betterment of the whole situation. Go clear your name and come back. And I can't feel comfortable that he's going to choose the right people. So we need to flush it in his face with media coverage so he can go.
But Bishop, let me say something to you, my brother. Yeah. I agree with you now. And when I come off here, I want you to come because I want to talk to you about something you just said too.
Yeah.
But let me say something to you.
Yeah.
And I keep on saying to my wife, said to me, no, honey, don't say that. My friends, they said to me, no, Jeffrey, you're saying something, and whatever you're doing is going places. Until the Jamaican people in Jamaica stand up and demand accountability and speak out, we in the Jamaican diaspora in London, in Canada, in the United States, in Africa, and all over the place, we could talk till we're blue in the face. If the people of Jamaica don't wake up and stand up and speak out, nothing will be done about the corruption in our country.
Yes, I agree, and that's why I am using this opportunity to call on the people. The people, if you go find some of these big media, I mean, yes, by all means, call, you know, Jeffrey Tavares and stuff like that and raise hell. But we also got to take it a step further. We need to go try to petition some of these big media houses to where it becomes worldwide. When Bruce Golden had to step down, that thing was covered worldwide. It was when you stay here in the United States and see Jamaica burning down on CNN, it just wasn't pretty. He had to go. And I think that the same effect needs to happen where he's being covered everywhere across the globe.
But tell us something, sir. You see?
Yeah.
I want to talk to you after. What I really want to say, I want to say to you here. I want to talk to you after because I know there's something in the making, but I can't say it on air.
Yes.
And I don't want to disclose. I want the person themselves to disclose it, but I know there's something in the making. I know.
Okay.
I know there's a group of females in Florida a group of Jamaicans who lives in Florida has been speaking to their senators and their congresspersons pertaining to it. I know that there's supposed to be a meeting with some congress people from Florida pertaining to the Integrity Commission report. I don't know if that is going to happen, but I need to talk to you. So call me when I come off here, you call me, all right?
All right.
Yeah, man. Thanks for calling in.
All right.
Thank you. The numbers to call is 954-52980. No, it's 3 o'clock. Lord, I have to go. Oh, Lord, I have to go. Thank you all very much for coming on. Thank you for being a part of the program. This has been the Mek Wi Talk program. A little history of today. I may have lost some of my subscribers, but so be it. I want to say thank you all for subscribing. Like, share, and subscribe to the Mek Wi Talk Jeffrey Tavares YouTube channel. Thank you all very much. Until you hear my voice again, may God bless the United States and may God bless the people of Jamaica. May God bless Jamaica and the people of Jamaica. May the people of Jamaica stand up and demand accountability. God bless you. Like, share, and subscribe. Like, share, and subscribe. You can hit the super chat if you wish to donate to us. You can do so. God bless you. God bless. Jamaica land we love.
When the game gets rough and this life just seems so tough, Mek Wi Talk, my people, Mek Wi Talk. When this town becomes an ugly place, don't let it erase the smile from your face. Mek Wi Talk, people, Mek Wi Talk. Conversation is the key, a guiding light for you and me. Spark a talk and you will see. Conflict solver A to Z. World leaders master the art of self-defense just by talk. So people, Mek Wi Talk. Hey, we're living in a world that on ourselves we must depend. Mek Wi Talk.